Oh my god. Oh. Boom. Game started. Let's go.
Oh no, the back rank! No!
Yay! By trading off everything.
Forever, and he goes for the Botez gambit.
Oh, let's go for it, Scribbly. let's do it. Yay!
Ooh! I am here to show that we can be tough indeed in some battles. I am here as Cyborg, and because of my chess course, I'm happy to intimidate your team. Not you, Alex, and you.
Not me?
No, only your players. I need to intimidate.
Well, honestly, my players are intimidated enough already, Anna. They could just use like a boost in morale, you know?
I hope your team will do better because I don't want to see you down.
Anna, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
You need to be a subscriber. It's called Subbattles for a reason, so you better be a subscriber.
It sounds more intimidating now that you have black lipstick, as you say. You better be a subscriber. Okay, Anna.
You better be a subscriber, or else.
Okay, it's less scary when you have a giggle after, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it. That's fine.
We are playing Subbattles today. Hello, everybody. Hello, tomatoes. So I need brave tomatoes who are ready to fight against the evil team of Miss Botez. We're gonna take them down. We all know the result, but in any case we should pretend that there's actually something at stake. We all know which team is gonna win because we always win, but let's pretend that there is a battle. Let's pretend that it's not that clear, and I need your chess.com usernames and ratings in the chat. And how is everybody doing today? Do let me know how is everyone doing. I slept, on the other hand, 12 hours, so out of all the things I had to do, I forgot all of them except for sleeping. I fell asleep yesterday like a baby, and I didn't wake up till like noon. I never in my life slept this much in the past couple of months or year. I don't remember the last time I slept this much, but I guess I was just very sleep deprived. Vila, oh, actually, can I put you on the team, or will Alex shoot me for it? 2511 is a really strong player. I must tell you in advance. So
he is.
2511, let us know. The question is, on board 4 for Alex, you see that name highlighted. That's Grandmaster Jon Ludvig Hammer, one of the top grandmasters of Norway. So he's on the Olympic team of Norway. He has been working with Magnus Carlsen. He's a streamer and a grandmaster. So the question is, 2511, are you okay playing against Hammer?
And Hammer will have to sacrifice his rook or give it for free.
And we are sending our champion of the Yeascan Invitational 2nd edition against one of the top players of Norway. You can do it, 2511. You can do it, Eric.
Okay, Hammer, send me the FEN code, and I will try to put it in and see if the command works. I don't remember. Okay, I'll do it. High maintenance princesses are the ones I have on my stream. Okay, I know that is what's happening here. Give me a second to prepare the FEN.
High maintenance princesses. But it's Grandmaster Jon Ludvig Hammer without the rook. Yeah, it is missing. It is missing.
There you go. Enjoy. You're welcome, Hammer. Now please get a win.
There we go. 2511 with the black pieces and the Anna flare next to the flag. You see that's Anna.
The kind of guy to complain that he wants the rook off to not save time and then spend almost 20 seconds on his first 2 moves. No, I'm just saying it's very suspicious behavior.
So we have a rook up in this game, but our opponent is really high rated. 2600 is the rating of Jon Ludvig.
So Anna, actually, there's like a rating calculator for the amount of material you would need to give up to make a match even. Material odds is actually negative 2.67 pawns. So for those of you who are saying I'm being unfair, actually he's giving almost twice as many odds as he should give for this rating. And if you guys don't believe me, I'll link it in the chat.
We are doing very well so far. All the pieces are on the board. I mean, we traded one minor piece, but I mean, we didn't give back any of the advantage. 2511 is about to finish his development, I believe. We'll see. Oh, knight e4 is also a good move. And now let's see whether 2511 will castle or not.
Oh no, we crashed their website.
Have you? Too
many people, I think, you tried to go there.
Oh, Alex.
That's the cutest thing I heard all day.
Aww.
Too
much traffic.
It's like a cute little baby website. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready to be this popular.
2511 is being popular and strong in this game. I like that knight e4 move, and then he castled kingside and chased away the knight from e5 by pushing f6. So he's maintaining his advantage in terms of the material, and also has finished development. His king is secure and it's safely placed on the king side. Everything is going well for black.
Yeah, he's just holding his rook here, almost as if he got really favorable odds. But no, I'm kidding, and I suggested them and I was fine with it as well. I think Hammer is still a very tricky guy, but 2511 played so solidly, the way he should.
Yeah, he's playing very well. Nicola, good to see you, and good job at your match. I was watching Nicola's adoption match today. The first
Did he get adopted, or did he survive?
He didn't get adopted. He played
Who
very
has
well.
adopted Nicola so far?
Only Amon. Ooh, oh.
Sorry, one second.
No, Hammer tricked 2511 because knight g3 was a very tempting move, but now the knight is pinned. He cannot take the rook. Oh, but there's rook takes e3. Wait a second. And knight e6. This is a mess. This is a mess now. Both rooks are hanging. It was Hammer who wanted to trick Eric, but Eric tricked in the end Hammer from the trick that Hammer wanted. So tricking back the trick. I think we are doing well here. I think we are doing well. 5 head indeed. Look at that check. But wait, is that check good though? Now I'm wondering, because now this rook is not hanging anymore. We can trade queens, but then both rooks will be hanging. The black rooks will be hanging. Nika, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you for the 5,000 bits. You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. Eric can do it. We have given back some of the material, but this is still a piece up, and the queens are off of the board. I think we are doing well, because even though we have lost some of the advantage, we also traded queens and a pair of rooks. So now it's a piece up for 2511. Some of the pawns will fall, but it's not too bad. We still have, yeah, more trades, very good. We have a piece and a pawn up, so it's 4 points. That's still the advantage of 2511. He's doing extremely well, simplifying the position.
I'm back, Anna. Sorry, I just wanted to welcome the raiders and not interrupt your analysis.
Sure. I was just saying that I think 2511 is doing extremely well, because he gave back some of the material, but it's still a piece and a pawn up, and he has simplified the position, so a lot of pieces have been traded, which usually helps the player with material advantage to convert it into a full point. And these moves, knight f4 and bishop e5, very powerful attack. I'm very proud of 2511. He just needs to be careful about his time, because he's down to 35 seconds. He has to be very quick.
So he's held his advantage very well. Yep. I mean, he's still up an exchange and a pawn here. This is really tough. I think if it wasn't 3-2, Hammer could have flagged him. But 3 + 2 is too difficult.
Yeah, we still have a piece and a pawn up. There were some tricks with this c4 now. The pawn was hanging, but bishop d4 I think is a good way to react to it. And now trading more pieces. This is a pass pawn, but he takes on h4. Wow, this could go down to rook and bishop versus rook.
I hope, yeah, and rook and bishop versus rook is still a win for black, right? Most of the times.
A draw, but in a practical game, we shall see whether Hammer can defend it.
Yeah, I guess I saw Hikaru lose the game with playing king and rook versus rook and bishop, so like practically it's so hard to defend, no?
Yeah, and you know what I've just noticed earlier, Alex, the pawn on e6 was hanging, but 2511 cannot trade rooks because that bishop and pawn would not be winning, so the corner is the wrong color. We will explain this later at a more quiet moment, because the game is just on fire at the moment, that everyone is playing really quick moves. Oh, what's going on here with that rook on the 7th?
Usually if the bishop cannot check the king out of the corner where the pawn promotes, it's going to be a draw. Hammer's playing this very well, of course he is, but 2511 should still be able to win this. I just don't know if he can do it because he only has 10 seconds left.
Yeah, and White has activated his pieces a lot. I like the bishop maneuver that it's now from g7 he moved it to e3 to protect the h6 pawn. but it's not an easy task to convert this because the rook trade is not good for black. I'm getting nervous if that pawn will be a problem. Knight 25-11 is exchanging rook, so this is gonna be a draw.
Wow, Hammer saved it.
He did.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad. I was pretty nervous.
Yeah, now we can explain what we were saying earlier. So this is a bishop and a pawn up for black, which in normal circumstances would always win. An extra piece and a pawn is a lot of advantage. But this one pawn, if it's a rook pawn and the color of the corner is not the same as your bishop, it will lead to a stalemate like this because there's no way of getting the king out of the corner. So whether you end up stalemating your opponent or you just cannot make progress because the king will never leave the corner. But very good game 25-11. I'm really proud of you. You did so well. I guess one of the top grandmasters of Norway. Former second of the world champion Magnus Carlsen, Olympic chess player and streamer, commentator Jon Ludvig Hammer, and 25-11 played extremely well. Well done, Eric.
There you go, Anna. The game started.
Believer saying, I don't recognize Alex. She's complimenting her team.
Well, Hammer did a fantastic job. Dude, it's been too long since I've seen Hammer or you. Man.
It's been a while, and we should have been in Norway if it wasn't for the situation worldwide. We were gonna go to Norway in June.
Why are our players aborting? I know we have a lot of beginners, but usually when you sit down, you want to make a move.
Life wisdom from Miss Botez.
Yes. I give chat, stay in here and you're gonna get nuggets of knowledge, okay?
The English opening is on the board.
Oh, my chat is saying they're aborting because they're afraid to be roasted. No, I gave Hammer a compliment. He played fantastically. And Anna, so what do you think of the English as an opening for beginners?
I think it's a good choice because you can learn a setup and the ideas, plans, instead of having to memorize something that's very sharp and move by move line. So I think both in C4 openings and D4 openings there are variations that basically you just need to know the setup and how to develop your pieces, and from then it's just a game, because there are so many theoretical lines like very sharp Najdorf positions where if you don't know the first 20 moves by heart, you're lost. To learn, what are we doing actually? Wait a second, we are giving up some material. It's okay, we are generous. That was just a bit of a gift to Laul. We've given up our bishop on g5, but all good, all good. And our king is under attack. We'll have to move it. And we'll not be able to castle from then on. Our king's safety is a little bit of issue.
So we are up a piece. We are taking more. Our king is in the center of the board, but we're very close to castling. This seems awesome for black.
Yes, a piece up and an attack, plus the white king is weak. Things are going down here, but I'm hoping this knight will... Ooh! What a move! Yes! Giving back the material, and not only this, but will we spot that the rook is hanging? Yes! Exchange up from a piece down. That's quite a... And now the knight is gone to a rook up! A rook up! We were a piece down and now we have an extra rook!
How did this happen? How did this happen, Anna?
Well, Mattia was generous before, but now he's collecting free stuff. That's what we do.
Okay, look. Everybody blunders, everyone makes mistakes. Maybe Mattia is gonna put his king on a dark square. We're gonna get a nice little discovery attack and we're gonna win the rook back. That's what I'm hoping for here.
We will see.
Mattia, can you please put your king on g3? It's a very nice cozy square. You don't want to block your own pawn with your king, am I right?
Cozy square.
Yeah, cozy.
We are doing very well here, but yes, as Alex said, there's still some danger in the position. Bishop has been moved. It was attacked and is now moved, so that's something. I'm not sure that was the best square to move it to, but we'll see how black continues. I was a little worried about black attacking, not in L shape, but I was worried about that pawn push and then our bishop would be lost. It didn't happen. We've given up this pawn.
I'm still hoping the king goes to dark square. There's still some chances it will happen. Matea is playing very slow. Increment really bothers me.
Alex.
No, it really does. It really does.
We moved the rook. That's great because Alex was waiting for a discovered attack. So if this bishop could have gone somewhere with a check, then our rook in the corner would have been hanging. That was Alex's idea.
I was hoping. It goes against all of the Botez teachings. Exactly. Oh my god.
I was a little worried that because the pawn is hanging, Black will realize that he can push that pawn, attack the bishop has to go to h3, and then g4 is a fork. So Black was gonna win the bishop. But instead rook d7 happened, and I'm very happy to see that.
I see that Raul has... How much puzzle? He's only done 39 puzzle rush attempts. Actually, 39 is pretty decent. 39 is pretty decent. So I feel like he has been doing his puzzle rush. He just had a bad game.
He was doing well at the beginning of the game. He was crushing it. Matea was in a lost position at the beginning.
Matea is playing quite slowly. He feels like very comfortable with not having that much time. So maybe we'll get a Flaggeruski. Sorry, I was just closing my tabs, chat. So what are the best chances for Raul to get a stalemate here? Well, he has to put his king somewhere where he... Okay, we can take the queen. We're gonna get mated. Matea. All the pieces in the world. Are they gonna be able to pull this off? We'll find out. Stay tuned, chat. 2 rooks, 1 bishop, 2 pawns, increment. But why are the rooks moving away? It feels like the rooks are more afraid of the king than the king is of the rooks. It's a little concerning here.
A little afraid, but he's gonna do it. Just trying to find the right setup. Now it's the time because the rooks are far. Very good. So one rook will be cutting the king. Remember, guys, the ring of fire, and the other burns. And it burns. The ring of fire. Very good job, Matea.
Oh, that was a rough game to see the blunders. But I understand everybody blunders sometimes. It's 0.5 to 1.5, pretty much the same way we start sub battles every weekend. But it would be nice to have one weekend where maybe we come back from behind. Boom. Game started. Let's go.
But we have Mikhail Tal with the white pieces against Magnus Carlsen, basically. From what I see in the handles, world champion references for both players.
We got a modern defense with bishop g7. It's a very shy defense to start off with. It's not explosive. You're not going... Oh.
Wait a second.
What happened to Magnus Carlsen?
Did he have to leave like this much? Because he said he had to go soon, but... To resign on move 7...
Okay, so what is going on here? We got a French defense. Dude, why do people still play the French defense? Like, the French is already boring, and then they decide to make it even worse by trading off everything.
You used to play the French defense yourself.
I mean, a lot of people have made mistakes in their past, and they've grown up, Anna.
I haven't grown up. I still play the French. It's the best opening in the world. And Anish Gir is preparing a course on the French defense.
He is?
And when he played e5 against Fabiano, he tweeted, it was e4, e5 on the board. And he captured that, he screen grabbed it, tweeted the position and said, mouse slipped.
That's pretty funny. I didn't see that. Dude, Anish is so funny.
Yeah, he is. And he has been just dropping subtle references to his course constantly. Like whenever there was any way of putting it into the answer, even if it was just like not course related, but somehow adding it. And it's very funny and I think really good at marketing, because during the broadcast everyone knew that he's preparing that course.
He also made a checkmate course before giving Magnus a draw yesterday. Did Anish make one?
Oh, they had to be solving the Chessable 100 puzzle test. So that's Checkmate Patterns Manual is the latest course on Chessable. And because of the checkmate patterns, every participant of the Chessable Masters had to solve 100 of the tactics from the checkmate patterns.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we were curious how quickly they can do it and how accurately. So it was about speed and accuracy. And some of the videos are still being published, so I cannot spoil it, but I do know some of the results and how Anish did, how Hikaru did, how Magnus did. I'm a little worried about that knight. I hope it won't end up doing something bad to white's pieces. But it's a very active piece. Yeah, trading it I think is a good idea because bishop d3 was a threat with the knight on f4. And now
the queen is threatening to take on a7, so maybe king b8 is necessary here?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, and your player did go for it. So both of them are doing very well. This is board 1, guys. Board 1 versus board 1. Repification, what's the difference between Chessable and chess.com? They are two chess platforms focusing on different aspects of the game. So chess.com, we are playing right now on chess.com. Chess.com has the biggest live arena. If you want to play online, they're the highest number of people connected at the same time playing games. That's always on chess.com. It has, of course, courses as well, broadcast, news, puzzles. You can go through video lessons, exercises. A Chessable is basically a new way of teaching chess. It's the only platform from what I know that uses AI to spot your weaknesses and strengths. So basically, when you go through courses on Chessable, it will note which exercises you do well with, which ones you struggle with, and because of collecting that information from how well you do during the course, it will give you back some of the exercises. So spaced repetition is what Chessable uses, Move Trainer, and a gamified way in which you can learn chess through their courses. So two different platforms with different approaches, but we are basically talking about both because at least Cyborg Anna has a course on Chessable, also has courses on chess.com, and we are playing on chess.com, so you cannot play on Chessable. That's also a difference.
And Anna, actually, I think I linked your course before.
Thank you.
Chad, actually, Anna makes incredible courses, and she does have one on Chessable.
Thank you so much to Grandmaster Peter Swidler for raiding us. Peter, so happy to see you.
What? Peter Swidler is like one of, especially for people who play chess competitively, one of the best commentators in the world. He's fantastic. That's awesome.
He is 8-time Russian champion, analyst extraordinaire, Grandmaster Peter Swidler. Thank you so much, Peter, for the raid. I've been working with Peter on the Chessable Masters for the past 2 weeks, and today is the first day that we are not broadcasting. I'm missing the show. It was like every day, the daily routine, being on a Zoom call with Peter and Yasser. And the event is over. Magnus won. Anish almost stroked back yesterday, but it was just an almost. He missed a couple of chances. Now that rook is gone, which was, I'm sure, a sacrifice. We are still having a really aggressive attack here on the queen side. We shall see whether it will actually succeed, the attack. We are a full rook down as white. Well, I'm not sure we will succeed. 16 seconds left for Magnet Carlson. That's my player, Magnet, who is facing Tal. 2 world champions here. 2 world champions.
Okay, well, Tal's tactician, you might be our first victory of the day.
Well, let's not call it a victory just yet. But yes, a rook up for black. I'm still hoping. There's still
we have to deal
danger.
with checkmate first.
Yeah,
okay, h5. a5 was very clever. The only way to defend the a6 square. Ooh, back rank, just kidding, because there's a queen on d1.
Also,
what is the threat here? Queen takes a5. What are we going to do? Bishop d2?
I thought white had queen c4 instead of knight b5, but I mean...
Oh no, please don't flag. Please don't flag. Even queen takes b7 is better than flagging. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so black gives up the queen in order to make the king safer. So now... Oh no, the back rank! No!
Yay! Yay! We did it! We got a win! I knew you could do it, chat. I believed in you all along. Thank you, Tals. Tactician.
What on earth? Can we just look at the position after a5 for a moment? Because I thought that white was winning. I thought that we had queen c4, which not only attacks the rook but threatens mate on a6. And if there black gives up the queen for the rook, the d5 rook will still be hanging in the end. So I thought queen c4. I don't see a defense for black. I don't see a defense because queen a6 is such a strong threat. You can only give up the queen on b7, but at the end of the line, the d5 rook will fall. Do you have that position, Alex? I thought that Magnus was actually very brave, giving up a full rook.
I thought we were lost because bishop d2 also didn't work because c7 is hanging, so we had to trade off on b7.
Well, this was a super exciting game in any case, and of course mistakes can happen from both sides, but Magnus played very bold and brave, going for the sacrifices with knight c6 and then giving up the rook on b1 as well, so it was a full rook sacrifice. I'm really proud of how you played Magnus. It was very aggressive and bold, the attack you went for. Exactly what I try to teach in the course. That and also the how to build up your attack strategically. You almost did it. I think queen c4 would have won the game, but you didn't have much time, so it's okay. Knight b5 was a strong move too, but you didn't have time. Don't worry.
Oh, Hoff Believer, that is such a good idea.
What is it?
Yeah, let's do that. So Hoff Believer donated a Anna course, and this was a while back before we had to cancel the viewer tournaments because we just were having trouble with the cash prizes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Hoff suggested that we can raffle it off to one of the players today, and I would be happy to do it.
That's so kind of you, Hoff Believer. Thank you.
Okay, h4. That's a really weird idea here. Got a lot of aggression from the black side of the pieces.
Yeah, a lot of aggression, but I think it will. I mean, depends if it will. Yes, this move order, yes. I was worried because black wants to trap the bishop of white, but if white had given the check on g6 first and then play bishop f4, then we wouldn't have been able to push the pawn to g5.
And now our bishop is getting trapped, but we do have something that's a little annoying to deal with. Okay, we're not going to play it right away. I'm sure he's just preparing it for the next move.
I think Alex is talking about this square. Getting ready.
Can we maybe just try it?
George, don't worry about that. I know you're not here. You're not jinxing the match. You're not jinxing it. Okay,
yes!
White did it. White did it in the end. A check. We're still a piece up though, so yeah, our king is a brave one. Starts walking up the board. Not the safest spot, but we are a piece up. That's what matters. Extra.
Wow,
piece.
this is a really cool photo. Jeddick Moore, I think it's his girlfriend, fiance, or someone, and they have a very romantic city kiss.
Aww.
Aww.
And Jobless has a chess pawn. That's also
one day
romantic.
I'll have a photo like that too, Anna.
Aww. We need to do photo shoots, Alex. We tried when Alex was here. We did a couple of photo shoots, but the way I do photo shoots is basically just set the camera on video, and so you're recording constantly, and then we take screen captures from the video. That's how I do most of my own photos too. But we went outside. When Alex is back, I will say it though, because I don't know if she can hear us right now.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I was just saying that when you were here, we also tried to take photos outside, and it was freezing cold and windy. We went outside Ireland in February. We went outside to the garden to try to take photos, and it was just impossible. Our hair was just like everywhere, and it was cold, and it totally didn't work out. But the indoor ones were fine, I think, the indoor pictures.
Yeah, I managed to visit you the 1 week that was, storming non-stop.
It was really
But
bad.
I mean, it was still a really great time. It was nice to see you and work together.
We had a great time, but the weather was the worst of all the year. The 1 week Alex was here. Oh, Nicole, thank you so much. Nicole is saying, I would be more than happy to gift one raffle Anna course to a player every Sunday.
Aww.
Nicola, thank you so much. Hope Believer and Nicola, thank you for offering a course each.
Shaydog said he'd be happy to accept a raffled course every weekend.
Shaydog, I don't think we can rig it. What's going on in this position though? Black is still a piece up, actually 2 pieces, because white has sacrificed yet another one. King is in the middle of the board, but there are no more checks, and the queen has to be traded. It doesn't have where to go. We are doing great. Astro, Cyborg Anna does have emotions. It's only Goth Anna that just constantly lives in pain. Cyborg Anna is partially human.
Okay, 6 seconds. Is he going to be able to come back from this?
Well, the position is really suspicious for white. 2 pieces down. And now...
E4?
Well,
Any fast moves? I think he just has to try to play quickly. There's not... Oh, even if we're losing pieces. Yikes.
Hey. That piece is gone too now. And the rook is gone as well. Well, white has done their best to give up as much as they can, as many pieces sacrificed as possible. The only chance for white would be a stalemate, but there are so many pawns on the board. I don't think this will lead to stalemate ever.
Well, I'm gonna say at least we didn't flag. I think when you have 7 seconds, it's impossible almost at, 800 rating range to not blunder pieces because you have to think so quickly and you're not used to it yet.
And we have won the game. Very good job, Jobless. Very good job. I think your player went wrong only because they didn't give a check on g6 earlier. So, Jobless played very aggressive, going h5 and h4. It's an interesting idea, but if white had noticed that black wants to trap the bishop, so after bishop f4, what happened is g5, and this bishop has nowhere to go. We're gonna take it. All the squares are covered. We're gonna capture it.
Right.
So after h4, an intermediate move for white would have been bishop to g6 check, and once the king moves away, whether to e7 or d7, then you move the bishop. So because the bishop being on g6, black cannot push the pawn to g5 anymore.
That's a tough thing to see, but that's why usually you don't want to push the pawns by your king side like this. So the way Jobless was playing was actually inaccurate. He just got lucky to not be punished for it.
Yeah. He was playing very bold, Jobless. So it was, I think his bravery paid off, because going h5, h4 is brave. Very good job, Jobless. But yes, if white had noticed about the check on g6 earlier, then in this position we are pretty much in trouble.
Here we have Tyke 6 versus Quark 02. Finland versus Estonia, I think.
Oh, nice.
And are you still doing wholesome straw polls?
Today we haven't done that many. Maybe we should run more polls. Now that you reminded us about the polls. I saw one of your polls on your subreddit. And speaking of the subreddit, I'm very proud of all of your community, Alex, because after our sub battle last Sunday, they did their best and they made some fan art for you, and there was an appreciation post where people could leave comments on why they appreciate your streams and your hard work. So I'm very happy to see the wholesomeness, guys. Keep that up, but not only in a jokey way, but for real. For real.
Yeah, and my subreddit is just a place of roast. Recently, people have been memeing about how I want to eat birds.
I saw some of those, but I'm sure it's just a joke, and people appreciate you, and they know that you had a bird, and the bird flew away. But thank you for the 5 gifted souls. No, Alex, no, Alex, no, no.
Oh, of course I didn't eat the bird. Relax, chat. Relax.
More memes will be coming after this.
Okay, so what's going on here? We got the bishop pair, which is nice. On top of that, black cannot castle just yet. Queen d7 to prepare to castle queenside is interesting. b4 and make space for the white pieces. Saik is playing this very well so far.
Yes, but I'm happy that Quark decided to castle. I was a little worried that our king would not make it, but castling queenside was the way to go. We couldn't castle kingside because this bishop is taking away the square. You cannot castle into check, through check, or from check. Nothing to do with check, then you cannot castle.
Okay, well, what white should try to do now is maybe activate the rook onto c1 to put pressure, or something like queen e2 and go for bishop a6 even. Both sides now are going to try to attack on the side where their opponent is safe. But we're just seeing trades. Okay. No, that's all right. The semi-open c-file is still where we should be activating our queen and our rook.
The queen is doing nicely on d5, but the position is very closed, and opposite side castling usually is about trying to launch an attack against the opponent's king faster than how your opponent will attack your king, so both players can play on the flanks. Black can start advancing the pawns on the king side to open files and get to the white king, and white will try to do the same on the queen side, flank attacks. I'm hoping we will be faster. I think we have a promising position here as black, but it's gonna take a couple of moves, and whether will there be a queen trade or not, that's a question. Yeah, if we trade queens, then suddenly it's more about the strategic ideas and not just bold attacking, pawn pushing and such. So this is now a different type of position. Will require more maneuvering, improving your pieces. I like bishop a6 because it's heading toward somewhere more active. Bishop b5 is also good to block the b4 pawn and stop these doubled rooks. White was getting enthusiastic about doubling rooks on the b5, but it's not an open file, so there's not much going on there for the rooks.
Right, that's why I was hoping that we would double our heavy pieces on the c-file so that we actually have some kind of target here. Unfortunately, it isn't the case, and now knight d5 is really annoying. We're gonna have to play something like rooks. Oh no, why?
I'm not sure that white had that much choice, though. Of course, you should try to protect it, but like rook b3 was gonna fail to bishop a4, so he had to.
But
do
rook
it.
c1
rook c1
would have worked.
Yeah, rook c1 was, I think, the way to go, the only way. So it wasn't that simple to find the one move that was holding the position. Now it's a piece up for black. And more than a piece if we continue this way. I wonder.
Yeah, this is tough. We're down a full piece, but there's still some tricks. Because the black king isn't that safe, at least if we start finally putting our rooks on the semi-open c-file.
Yeah, I was hoping for knight e2 earlier when the knight was attacked. That would have won another exchange. It would have been a full rook up, but in any case, this is an extra piece. We are doing well. And we just need to keep playing fast.
We need to play 3-0 from now on in sub-battles for dirty flag reasons. I mean, I like 3-0. I think it's exciting to see flags, but I do understand how newer players want 3+2. Although, Anna, your team is pretty stacked. You mostly just have experienced players here.
Yeah, I think it depends on the day. Last Sunday we had more beginners, more players around the rating of 1000 or below 1000, and now we are accepting that free rook. Yeah, why we are talking that rook is gone, but the pawn was about to promote, so that's why white played rook f1, and this position is a rook and a bishop up, plus the pawn is still about to become a queen. Queen Turg about to become a queen.
We're gonna lose this game. At least we won one game today. That was not so bad. Why are we losing all the games? I don't know.
You can still do it, Alex.
Because we blundered in this one. That's why.
But there's still many games. You can still do it.
Yeah, here, instead of knight c1, chat, rook c1 would have protected our bishop and we would have been okay, but we gave a full piece by playing knight f1.
Astra, thank you for the kind words and the cheers. Hope to see you next time. Good night. And that's a win for Quark. Beautiful checkmate on the board. Ta-da! Queen is protected by both rooks. And the king has nowhere to go. Very well done, Quark. That was a great game.
Alright, well let's move on to the next one.
You can still do it, Alex. There are so many more boards left.
Why are you cheering us on? You should cheer your team, not ours. So do I give Shadok the black pieces in this one then?
Whichever way you prefer. I don't mind. I think in the end it's gonna be balanced. So
Shadok, if you can get this win, then we'll get another win and we'll be tied. There we go. That's what we're gonna do. All right, Shadok, let's see what you got.
Shadok, what he's got is that scary profile picture that he has had for years by now. I still am just looking at it and I'm hypnotized.
What are you looking at? Sorry?
Shadok's profile picture. It has been this scary forever, and he goes for the Botez gambit.
Yes.
Shadok.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a while. Why? Okay, so knight h4. What the heck is happening here? Are we trying to put our knight on f5? What?
He took the queen. He went for the Botez gambit with queen h4.
Oh, he played queen h4. You're kidding. I didn't even see it.
I think he's honoring you. I'm sorry, Alex, but your players learn from the best. It's okay, Alex. It's only a queen. It's only a queen.
Shadok is better than this.
Are you saying he's trolling you?
I mean, there's two bad options. Either he genuinely tried to play queen h4, which is sad in and of itself, or it's a troll. But nobody falls for that. That's giving your queen.
Oh well.
I just expected better. I don't know. I will let Shay speak for himself in front of the trial. And we will make our final decision.
Yes. We'll see what Shadok says, but for now it is an extra queen for us because of that Botez gambit that Shadok played. We have a poll now about who is going to win. Options are go Team Anna, go Team Alex, go both teams, I like chess, or Flower. Flower has created the poll, so you guys should vote for Flower. Kelly. Okay, we can now decide to also go for the Botez gambit, but we did not. I'm glad that we are not that generous with the queen and giving it up. Bishop g4 was attacking the queen, so you can move it away or you can place the pawn in between. That's what Shachtus went for. So f4, the rook came to g8, and f5. Nicely done, gaining space, attacking the bishop. Very good job. Shachtus is playing really well, improving their pieces. I like this a lot, and not chasing away the knight from d4. Go Team Anna has won the poll 45%, 33% for Flower, our wholesome moderator Kelly. So trade on d7 and bishop h6. Now this rook is under attack, and we are still an extra queen, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you don't play the Botez gambit. You know, giving up on a queen. I'm really curious what Shadok will say, because yeah, if he's trolling, Alex not giving up the rook as well. Well, this was a sacrifice for a reason, giving up the rook to then take the bishop. So this is different. He got a pawn and the bishop for the rook. The rook is worth 5 points or 5 pawns. A bishop is 3 plus the pawn, so he gave up 5 points, got 4 points, plus managed to damage the king side of white a little bit. This sacrifice makes sense. The queen sacrifice earlier, no, that does not make sense. Oh, that check is really unpleasant. What will black do? Rook e7 is the best defense, but still. Now the pawn starts marching 2 squares away from promotion. This is tough for Shadok. A trade of rooks and then the pawn promotes. Very well done. Shachtus, really good job. This final move, rook g7 check, is a killer because it gives a check and also attacks the rook. If black takes the rook, then after f takes g7, the pawn promotes next move. You can only stop it with the horsey, knight e7, but then, for instance, pinning that knight or promoting immediately will win even more material for white. Really good job, Shachtus. Very good job. No worries, no worries. The game ended in a victory for Team Anna, surprisingly, after the queen sacrifice of Shadok.
Where's Shadok? No, but really. Shadok, what was that, dude? Was there a reason for that, or did you throw on purpose? He's still in the chat, okay.
Objection!
He says it was a mouse slip. Okay, hang on.
Mouse slip? To
But
what
what mouse slip to where? Queen g5, an even funnier Smurf? Like, how are we gonna, if the queen is going to f6, you're not gonna mouse slip it to h4. There's no way you're gonna mouse slip it to h4. Mouse slips always happen earlier than the spot you're trying to go.
Objection!
You're rearranging your windows. Okay.
Oh no.
I trust Shadok, he's been here for a while.
Yeah. Oh no, that sounds bad. It's a mouse slip.
I trust Shadok, he's been here for a while, so if he says that,
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think there's a reason for Shadok to troll you, so it must have been
Yeah.
that he was
No,
moving the
I
window.
trust Shadok. I trust Shadok. Okay.
I'm sorry for that, Shadok. It's a pity, but mouse slips happen.
Well, we have a chance to come back, I suppose. We could win the next 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So let's go for it, Scribbly. let's do it. Okay. Boteslavia has a mouse slip and like a peace blunder pandemic. Yes.
This is a solid setup for white. We were talking about openings earlier, and this would be one that I would recommend to beginners for white. It's easy to learn. It's just a setup where you need to know where you develop each piece. You castle kingside. It's safe and sound. Not one of the most exciting openings, but it's very easy to learn, I think.
Knight f3, we're playing this quickly. Solid position. The knight on e5 is protected by the knight and the bishop. Tons of options here. So far, I'm very happy with how this game is going.
The rook came to c1. That's an interesting move because usually you want your heavy pieces, especially the rooks, on open files. Obviously, there's no open file in this position because there have been no trades, but I wonder what the rook is planning to do on c1 later. How will you try to open the c file? g6 to make the king side somewhat safer with bishop g7, I think is a good idea.
Okay, so I always like that repositioning that he just did here. So now he has his bishop fianchetto. The only thing though is the center is really blocked, so the bishop is actually not that powerful there. But I don't like the pawn on c3 because now c takes b3, a takes b3, and the pawn on c3 is going to be quite the weakness. So that's why probably Scribble decided to block it up instead with b4.
Yeah.
But now I kind of like the idea of a5 because if a3 and they trade off, black is the one who has control of the open file.
Yeah, that's very true. I like your idea. I wonder if Nikai will go for it or something else. Rook back to f8. I wonder, once again, these mysterious rook moves. Rook c1 for white, rook f8 for black. I'm not sure what he wants exactly. Now, moving it back to e8. Will he just wait around with those rook moves instead of making progress? Oh no, it's usually not a good idea to give so many tempi for your opponent. So Black decided to wait because the position is really closed, and Nikai is saying that white can't do much, but there's a very unpleasant move here that I think will give an advantage for white. I'm not even gonna draw it. I don't want to see that move happen.
I don't know if this... I'm not even sure which move you're talking about here. I think it's this, but I just don't see the continuation necessarily.
Maybe it's not that bad. I'm just a little worried that our pieces will suddenly end up being all tangled up. It's just the wrong setup if the king is in front of the bishop instead the other way around. So I think it was there was nothing concrete, but I started to be really worried about that. Earlier, if white had given a check on h6, meaning that we had to go to g7 with the king, and then the bishop is stuck on h8, so it's just a piece that as if it didn't even exist in this position. What happened instead was a trade. Trades are good for black because then there are less attacking pieces, but white is still really active, bringing the queen to the king side. Scribble is playing very well this position, I think.
Okay, e5, he is pushing forward in the center, which makes a lot of sense because when you have the bishop pair, you want to open up the position and use it to your advantage. So I do like what he's going for here. If d takes e5, I guess he's also bringing his knight into the game. If black is able to survive this and there's no type of sharp attack, then black has the better middle game position.
Queen trade I am happy for because our king was a little more in a not so safe situation, so it's good to trade queens. If your king is under attack, get rid of the queen. That's the most powerful attacking piece. This was good for black. Still, white has really active pieces. The knight on e5 is nicely placed, and not trading bishops. Interesting.
Well, this is a pretty even position now. We're down on the clock, but it's not so... Okay, not even an even position though, actually, because white has a worse pawn structure. And our knight is going to be a little bit annoying. Oh, you can't allow, but now we're just going to be down a pawn. Okay, let's move that knight, please. Let's hop around. There you go.
Yeah, it's hopping towards c5. Still such a close position. It doesn't happen that often that you see a position where no pawns have been traded, and it's move 32. The only open file, semi-open file, is the F file because white has doubled their pawns. That's the only reason why that file is open for white. After rook d8, I wonder where that knight will go, and also why we did not take the pawn earlier. Both pawns are hanging. This, and now this as well.
Yeah, so maybe f6 is a pretty good move here, though, because it just kicks the knight away and there's no space. But he missed it. Now we can take with check. Ooh, why didn't we take with check?
Okay.
Take with check at some point, please, sir.
Misses
Come on,
from
it's
both
right
sides.
there.
If black played the move that Alex said, the knight would have been trapped. There was no square for the knight, but instead now black is losing a piece after the rook check. This bishop is hanging, unfortunately. Tough luck. It could have gone the other way around too, ups and downs.
And now we have the black king on h6. It's almost in a position where it's going to be checkmated, but we have to get rid of these last two remaining squares. Knight f7 is a way to, I guess, win the exchange. Rook f1 is not so good because now black is going to be able to bring his rook back on f8.
I wonder if there's any way we can trick white. I don't even see a trap here that white could fall into. So we are a piece down and our king is in trouble. Ooh. And now we are in even more
It's like they're playing on the same team. Doesn't that seem like the case? Like every time we think black should win and then black makes a move that actually just helps out his opponent.
Ooh!
I told you, same freaking team here. What the heck was that move?
I don't get it. Knight f7 would have won even more material. That's a fork. Instead of that, why just gave up a rook for free on g7? I don't understand what's going on here.
I mean, maybe let's do it this time around. Why not?
Now the check has been given. It's equal material. Well, some pawns are falling, but considering that at this stage white would be a rook up. Wow, this game is crazy. How both players are giving up material, making it really exciting to watch.
Or terrifying to watch, really, depending on your perspective here. But that's all right. Rook f7 would have been another great move and then win the pawn, but rook e7 works as well.
Yeah.
I'm ready for grabbing some pawns here.
Well,
Anna's team is so wholesome, they're throwing so we don't feel bad. Exactly.
White is still doing really well, but it could have been an extra rook for white.
Wait, are we about to get mated in two? Okay, same team. I keep forgetting. Black just missed a mate in two. That's all right. They're looking to be friends, not to mate each other. That's fine. Scribble, Nikai, very nice, very nice.
So wholesome. They just don't play the best moves on purpose. Oh man, this game.
Yes.
All the pawns are gone. Can we somehow give perpetual check as black?
There's also a maiden one here, but yeah, it's okay. We don't need it. I mean, now that our bishop's under attack, you'd think we...
It was mating one, but instead white gave up the rook. Oh man.
He was holding your hand to that checkmate. They have an agreement. I'm checking to see if they have a history with each other. By the way, hang on.
Wow, a history. A history. This has been a hilarious game. Both players giving up material, then not taking it. The other then wins it back, and even in the end, it's a duel.
They don't. This is their first game against each other. It's just.
They just really like each other. It's okay. They didn't want to win because they are too nice, too wholesome. Match made in chess heaven, indeed, Joe. Good job, everyone. This was a good fight, and the players are so nice that they didn't wanna take the full point. They shared it. It's wholesome. It's wholesome. We have won the match already. Really? I didn't count the points. Have we won already?
Look, sometimes you see games and they shock you.
Alex is especially pointing at the mating one that was on the board forever. So once the king landed on g4, bishop to e2 is such a strong check that there's no escape from it. The rook is cutting the king on the 5th rank. Remember, that's the ring of fire. Bishop gives the check, and the pawn takes away these squares. White king takes away the other two. There's nowhere to go, and that move was possible for a while.
But like the thing is, there's bishop e2, there's bishop e6, there's even just moving the bishop to d3. I don't understand why you play rook c5. I mean, it's so close to the bishop, you can't tell me you didn't see it.
Yeah.
I'm having trust issues.
Friends but not mates, indeed, Crimpin. Well, I think it was a fair result, the draw, because they were giving each other a lot of chances here and there. It's a draw. It's fine. Well played both of you. It was exciting to follow. We never knew what was going on, so that made it really exciting.
Okay. Omen Yemen. Oh, I remember him. Omen Yemen. He fooled me twice in previous sub battles.
I remember.
I
And
feel
that
like
was
he's
months
just created
ago.
10 alts or something.
That was like last year.
Yes, he's subbing from all of his accounts, and this is his master plan to troll me.
Oh man.
Okay. All right. Well, we still have 3 players who didn't get the chance to play yet today. So we can have them play against each other.
We haven't
yeah, sorry, go
won the
ahead.
I was just counting. We haven't won the match yet. We have 5 points, don't we? My team.
Your team has 5 points. No, sorry. This was a draw. You're right. You guys do have 5 points. Yeah, okay,
So
we're
it's not
good.
even decided yet. I think we just miscalculated earlier, so
Yeah.
it's still possible to
Yeah,
tie
you're
the
right,
score.
you're right. Sorry, I didn't notice. Okay, cool. Well then let's put Vila versus Noah. Vila never loses a sub battle, but maybe this will be the first time if he wants to keep his job in our channel.
I'm happy that you let him play. I wasn't sure if I can put him on my team, but he's such an MVP for Team Anna.
Do you mind just taking the highlight off of
yeah,
the names of the Lindsay?
apologies. I keep forgetting that. Sorry about that, Alex.
No, you're good. All right, I set him up. Let's see what happens here, Vila. I really wonder what he finds more important.
Are you saying there's a lot of pressure on the board and outside the board in terms of keeping his job?
I could be implying that. I'm just saying it's a simple question. I'm not threatening or doing anything weird, you know? Oh man. Okay, so we got an Indian game. Vila always plays the London. I feel like playing the system with your bishop on c8 only makes sense if there's queen b6 at some point, which he didn't go for. So Noah isn't playing the sharpest line here, but that's okay. I mean, the London isn't gonna immediately beat him up, but I already really like Vila's position.
Yes, it's a good one, and also his flair next to his flag. That's Miss Botez's flair on chess.com. So he's supporting the best channel out there, Miss Botez. But he's playing for the best sub-battle team. That is my team.
Okay, well, bishop takes h7 actually looks super scary here.
Woo!
And
Going
knight
for the
g5.
sacrifice.
And then queen h5, and what do we do? Did we just lose? Look, Vila. Queen h8. It looks like you could have been trying to go to h7. There is plausible deniability. Maybe you were also fixing your window, okay? Like...
Okay, it's made in a few moves if Vila plays well. Queen f7 is the first move. Then, if he plays it, I'll say it out loud. I'm sure he knows how to win this. It's made in a few moves, forced mate, unless he mouse slips. He offered a draw.
I mean, you still win with a draw, so if this was Vila's attempt to maintain his good grace. But
Well,
it's only symbolic because we still lose with a draw.
But he couldn't lose on purpose. I think
Well,
this is
it didn't
fair.
stop my team. That's those same logical words.
But he showed us that he's a really good player. He has a winning position, and then he offered a draw. So it's a win for both. He gifted your team half a point, and he gave away half a point from my team. To be diplomatic. Ingrid's my million, thanks for the sub. But yeah, let's show the force mate. Vila knows this very well. He knows it. He sacrificed the piece. This is a very famous sacrifice, but you need to know in which cases it works. It works here. Knight g5 check, king goes back, king g6 is another way to play, but both cases white is winning because this is a threat of mate on h7, and after the rook goes to e8, you take on f7 first, then you come back to h5 with a check, king goes away, then you give a check on h7, king goes away, you give a check now on h8, and after king e7, queen takes g7 is mate. This is a forced mate line that Vila had, and he knows it. Vila, very well played, and I understand you didn't want to beat the team of your boss.
Alright. So we have 2 games left. I think we could just see them play out so they have their chance.
Sure.
And then we can go back to usual stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Alright. Let's do that. Vila, good decision drawing. We'll take it. I mean, it was very unlikely we were going to be able to... Sorry, I was fighting that through. I'm sorry.
So 2 more games. We have won the battle. Have we been playing for a dare, or today we're gonna
I think that's what we said, and I'm not going to change it now that I'm losing.
And at the same time, we'll start thinking about what dare to give to Alex. She'll perform for us.
I mean, I already had the punishment of being a team captain for this team, so I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Chad. I'm kidding. I'm a bad captain. You guys are great.
Last time she sang and danced to the Wholesome Tomato song. That was beautiful.
Okay, Chad, relax. I'm joking. Let's try to end on a win here. So what's going on here? We have a pretty equal position. Black is behind on development on the king side. White just managed to castle. Opposite side castling. So this game will be pretty fun. Let's not get mated in one move. Just this one game, please. Maybe a move like g3 would be very nice to block that threat.
And yes, fantastic. It happened. It happened.
Okay, rook d1. I like it. We're putting our rooks on the open file here. Rook fe1, more pressure on the black queen. This is awesome so far. Very clean play by Infinito Playo.
h5, aggressive. I like it. Next move could be h4 to open up the h5. I do like that.
Bishop takes a7. And then take the queen, and I think we win a pawn.
Yep, there's a tactical idea there. I wonder if Infinito will go for it. And yes, it happens. So then in that case, h5, actually, I was praising that move, but Alex spotted this idea, which wins a pawn. So white gives up a bishop, but now we'll win back the bishop on e5. Trades first on d8. And there's no back rank issues because it's covered, the d1 square, and also white has pushed g3. It's a pawn, an extra pawn for white. Not that simple of an endgame, because it's only an h7 pawn that's missing, but it's an extra pawn still. Rook d2 is a great move. That's very strong because it attacks the c2 pawn, but white reacts well by playing rook e2 to offer the trade of rooks and protect the c2 pawn.
Okay, so we're up a pawn now, but both players have a lot of time. There's still increment, and this is actually a position where black does have some pretty decent drawing chances because there's no secondary weakness that black has to be careful about.
2 minutes left for both players, extra pawn for white, and now going for the rook endgame with knight e4. I'm not sure that makes it easier for white, especially if we're gonna go back to d2. Well done by dashing tango. The rooks on 2nd and 7th ranks are very powerful, so that's a really active square for the rook. Just constantly attacking the pawns of white. Okay, so black has his rook on the best file, as you mentioned. How are we going to get out of this? This is quite difficult, because if we play h4, then g4 comes. Yeah. Maybe we'd be able to win the h5 pawn in that position. Oh, and g4 immediately as well. Yes, this is a technically difficult position to convert for sure, because black's rook is more active than white's one. Yes, it's from c4 it's protecting the c2 pawn, but it cannot leave the c file unless you trade that pawn for something else.
I like that he's bringing his king to e1, because this way he's gonna force him off of the second rank. So that's a very good strategy here. And now it makes sense to try to trade off the rooks, because the king will be able to go to e5 and try to grab the pawns over there.
Yeah.
This is an Anna endgame. Yeah, Anna has done a ton of endgame courses, so she has taught her team all of the strats here. Rook h8, and now we're going to win the pawn on h5. Unfortunately, the strats don't work when you're down a pawn. Isn't that right, Anna?
Yeah, there's still some chance because white also has weaknesses, the f2 and c2 pawns. We need to get one of them for the h5 pawn at least to have some counter chances, but the white king is also really active. This is difficult.
Actually, this is kind of complicated. Where do we go from here? Because we're losing our c2 pawn, aren't we? Oh, then we take the f5 pawn. Okay, it's not so bad. Okay. Oh, now king takes f5, right? And then g4 is hanging. We have 2 passed pawns. We should be okay?
Yeah, those passed pawns are really strong. Oh, sorry, I'm messing up my board. But yeah, 2 passed pawns. Once they can start rolling, it's gonna be a problem.
Well, chat, if you guys do want to learn, we could do more puzzle rush, but people have to actually do their puzzles. Okay, chat, don't be so sad. It happens occasionally.
Oh, offering the trade-off looks tricky because that pawn will run fast. The h-pawn too will run fast. Both of them will promote. And white goes for it. Both of them will promote their pawns. This is a pawn race and they will arrive at the same time. White a little faster, but it's just one move, and now black promotes too. They will both have a queen.
Uh-oh. Is there a way to... I mean, we're still up a pawn, so we should be winning regardless, right? Unless there's perpetual check. So I guess we'll find out. This is gonna be kind of hard because the queen is just gonna keep jumping around, giving perpetual checks on the 3rd rank and on the H file.
Yeah, with the queen we have way more chances now. I think the rook endgame was looking really desperate without the rook trade on b5, but I'm hoping that because with queens on the board there's so much potential for perpetual, but at the same time we need to be careful about trading queens, so another check on f3 that would have been bad because of queen f5, and white will be trying to trade the queens because without the queens this endgame is winning for white.
Oof. I'm just trying to calculate here. Okay, so now we are almost out of checks because the queen goes on e8, queen g8 is a forced trade. If the queens are traded, it's a win for white. And if you go queen h1, then I guess, how do you stop the checks? King g8 doesn't work. It's still unclear to me if there's a perpetual.
Yeah, I think the black king is in an unfortunate position because of the fact that we cannot give a check on the back rank because that will lead to a trade. So very well done by Dashing Tango to step out of it, and now he's threatening to give checks. Okay, this is still a really good chance because I don't think white will manage to get out of the checks or promote, so we will now start giving checks again.
King e8, queen a8. Where does our king need to get to? Okay. This is actually a tricky endgame. Like I think it's this point is just a draw. Oh no.
Yeah, I think it is. And also black started pushing the b pawn, so we have counter chances. But black will keep giving checks until the white king is under the pawn.
Like if there was some way to block with the queen on f5 and trade off, that would be great. But that's not an option here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, white is trying to escape from the checks and white is threatening to promote, so we need to keep giving checks as many as possible.
Here, chat, I made you a wholesome poll.
Aww, what's the poll about?
Chat, you are great or not farts of Twitch, which is also quite nice.
Wholesome poll. Yeah, apologizing to Yeastcan is one of the options, artist. We're gonna give 4 options to Alex.
So if the queen goes to b5, the king is still running away for its life, but it has queen f5.
Ooh.
And then if it traded, I think we're going to promote first. So we're actually saving this somehow.
What was that? What was that?
Chat, we're going to save this. Relax. We're going to do it.
Well, I don't understand why we suddenly allowed the pawn to promote, because we were giving checks before all the way. I think dashing tango might have mouse slipped there or miscalculated. Because this will now not be a perpetual with 2 queens on the board.
There we go. And now we use our queen to block the pawn. Queen to block the pawn and bring that king over,
Yeah.
Rover. There you go, chat. We're doing it.
Very instructive indeed. Well played, Infinito, the endgame. But dashing tango, you fought so hard, and it was a difficult endgame to hold, especially the rook endgame. White should be winning in that rook endgame, and in the queen endgame, it was just loads of checks constantly. Both of you fought so well. Really well played. Very well fought game.
All right. Well, on that note, we have another matchup between our last players. But first of all, Infinito, that was fantastic. You went on for 86 moves. I thought it was going to be a draw. You didn't give up. You were up on time. Congratulations. Thank you for bringing a victory to our channel. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right. Last game. We can end on a happy note, do our punishment, and train for next Sunday, you know?
Yes.
Boom. There we go. He's in live chess.
Awesome.
Here is the last game. Carlixito versus CSASDS. So this guy didn't want to come up with a username, so he just pressed random keyboards.
Alex roasting
That's
my
fine.
team.
No, I get lazy sometimes too.
He's
No, that's
chess
not a roast.
master on
I'm
Twitch.
like 90% sure that's what he did.
Chess master, do tell us that those letters make sense. Tell us what it means. I know it means something. And Carlos Carlito played the other time as well. I remember that picture with Wesley So in his profile picture. He's posing with one of the strongest chess players on this planet.
Oh, with Wesley So. That's awesome.
I hope it's not Wesley playing though for Carlos. That would be a bit too much.
Okay, chat. Here, we could be really nice. It's so fantastic how he developed his 2 knights here. Oh, D takes C4, a really great move. There was a capture. Now he's using his time management so well. His knight is under attack and he didn't just blunder it right away.
Kelly, we know that you're the
Okay.
strongest.
He's up a pawn here. He saw through a very hard variation. His knight is under attack, and I bet he's gonna see it because he's a strong player. He sure did, chat. He sure did. Maybe we're gonna have the bishop move out of the way and see a castle because he knows his basics.
So that extra pawn is still on the board, but I'm hoping that after a4, which is a really good move, stopping black from being able to push b5, we will go and capture that pawn one way or the other.
Chat is traumatizing me.
What happened?
They're never happy. They're never happy. When I roast, I'm evil. When I compliment, I'm fake. Andrea, tap me out.
You're doing great, Alex. They are appreciating your efforts, I'm sure. It's just that they don't know how to express their appreciation. Oh, Yeastcan in our chat saying, make her apologize to me. Yeastcan, indeed, you deserve an apology. That's one of the options for Alex's punishment.
So the knight on d6 is kind of a pain. We probably don't want to take it because we're going to create a pass pawn, and then e4 and e5 is coming in here. But this is a really cramped position. It's quite hard to play as black.
Yeah, if the knight is not taken, that knight is a monster. This is called an octopus knight. We've talked about this a few times already. It's very strongly placed on d6. So I really like this position for CSASDS. Chess Master, you will need to tell us what those letters stand for, because we are all eager to know after the game.
But I already told you, Anna. No, but anyway. So I thought bishop a6 was interesting as well, but I guess the problem is your bishop doesn't actually have anywhere to go after a6. I mean, you're putting pressure on e2, but you just defend it and then there's nothing to do. f6 at least is trying to get his bishop on an open diagonal, so he's in a tough position and he's in time pressure. I hope he's gonna find a way out of it. I'm gonna have a lot of respect for him if he does.
Nice move indeed, attacking the e6 pawn.
So we almost need to play f5 and block it off here.
Yeah, possibly. Or black can also try to move the knight away from d7, for instance, knight f8 to protect the pawn. But then the e5 pawn will not be hanging. Knight f8.
I'm worried about knight takes c8 here, though. I guess the pawn is still protected, actually. Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, knight f8 was good for that. Yes, it protects the pawn with both. So one trade can happen, but the pawn will not fall. I think both of them are playing really well, putting pressure on each other, defending well afterwards. So really high level chess here between CSAS, DS and Carlos.
Okay, so 28 seconds to minute 30. I mean, I'm going to put Carlos's chances of saving this quite low here. And if he opens up the A file, it's even worse because then the white rook might get to A7. On the bright side, he's standing next to a very good chess player, so...
On the bright side. And he's from Ireland. Nicest country.
I'm not pessimistic. I'm just commenting on the position. It's a tough position. Like I said, it's okay to comment that it's a tough position. I hope you'll get out of it. Now he has some drawing chances. But he's fighting. He's fighting. It's just tough. It's just tough.
It is tough. White has the pair of bishops and more space, activating the king. It's equal material, but white has way more space, which gives way more activity to their pieces. That's the trouble here for black. He's struggling in that very tiny space behind their pawn structure. And only
maybe knight
20
b8,
seconds.
some fast moves.
Yeah.
Like at this point, he just has to play quickly, wait for his opponent to get in time pressure. He has no reason to try to push. He could just shuffle bishop c7, bishop d8, and just force your opponent to show he's good. But Anna, your team has been playing very well. Do you have any tips you'd like to share with maybe our team now that the sub battle's over?
Well, I think for your players, my message is you need to appreciate your captain more, show more of your appreciation toward your captain and toward the community, and that will help you play better chess because everyone will be rooting for you, everyone will be supporting you in the community, and it's a really wholesome space when you behave like that. So my tip for your community and for your players is to treat you well, to treat you the way you deserve to be treated.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, Anna, but I appreciate the kind words.
Nicely played here by both, actually. It's impressive how they are fighting. Very difficult endgame for black, but he's trying his best, Carlos, in this position. Only 9 seconds left for Carlos, and once again, this is a tough position. Not that simple to convert as white, but much easier to play.
Yeah, this is why I would have liked not pushing any pawns, because you shouldn't be trying to push for something if in your worst position. Holding would have been a lot easier. I guess maybe he would have gotten steamrolled, but now he has 8 seconds. Maybe he'll get some winning chances. I guess he can go for g4, try to get a pass pawn here. Okay. H takes, and if bishop g3, how are we gonna make progress?
So the bishop,
shuffle.
The g3 bishop is stopping the g pawn, and we can push our e pawn, but now it's stopped on the e7 square. What? There's a beautiful tactical motive with bishop h4 picking up the bishop, and this pawn is not promoting because our bishop, the other one, is keeping control of the g2 square. Very nicely played by CSASDS. Good job.
All right. Okay, that was our last game. Carlos, you had a tough opening, honestly, and it was a really tough endgame to hold. So I think you just got outplayed a little bit earlier on, and it happens sometimes.
Yes, this was a really tough endgame for Carlos. CSASDS, very well played, and if you would like to tell us, Chessmaster, in the chat what those letters stand for, if they stand for anything, Alex is saying you just press random letters. That's also fine, just let us know because we are curious. We have currently a poll running on my channel that's do we love Anna and Alex, and the two options are of course and yes.
But do people really love you if you're forcing them to love you?
We are not forcing them. Everyone loves you in my community.
I mean, I guess it's only the people who are voting in the poll. I guess there's some that are abstaining, right?
Yeah, they can abstain if they want to.
True, true.
We have 4 options for you, Alex, and also we need to do a raffle for the courses that Half Believer and Nicola offered. If we.
Okay, Anna, I'm about to randomly generate a number.
All right.
Boom! And it was number 7. So that will be Shadok and Shatus.
Congratulations to the two of you, Shatus and Shadok. Well, we have 4 options for Miss Botez, though, as punishment. I hope you are ready, Alex.
I'm ready.
Number 1, apologize to Yeast Can. Number 2, become Cyborg Alex. Number 3, juggle with tomatoes. And number 4, dance the funky chicken.
I think I'm gonna do the first one.
Ooh, apologize to Yeast Can. Yeasty boy likes it. We have Yeast Can in the chat on my channel. He has an account. I'm gonna open some pictures of Yeast Can in case not everybody knows who he is, and you can be looking at those photos while you apologize to Yeast Can. This is Yeast Can. We admire and worship Yeast Can here on my channel. He's absolutely cute and wholesome. He's a bread dog. He's a bread dog. So I think the apology last week, what we wanted as the apology is if you can either make it like a poem or a rap, just something that's not just one line.
Whoa, there have been over 1,000 visits to RN in the past week. That's a lot. Where is Yeast Can? Oh, wow. Okay, there's a lot of Yeast Can. Oh my, what the heck is this?
Which one? The Kevin cartoon?
The nose.
Oh, it's Ailil's Photoshop. I also had one eye. I was Anna Wazowski in another Photoshop. But yeah, that's you and I, Alex. Do you like it? Alex is currently looking at
I think we look pretty
this.
decent, honestly. I'm pretty okay with that.
blurs the image, but yeah, Ailil is very gifted in making Photoshops like this. I've been also Anna Wazowski with one eye on my forehead, just one gigantic eye on my face.
Okay, so I need to do a poem or a rap, yeah?
Yes, to Yeast Can, to apologize to Yeast Can.
I don't know if I can rap it, honestly, but I can try. I was thinking of just like doing just like a dramatic reading. It's really hard for me to come out and talk to you about this chat, but I've done something very wrong. When I first met Yeast Can, I didn't think of him as another living being. I tried, but every time I would see him walking around with those pudgy little legs and that voluptuous body, my heart was someplace else. My mouth was watering. Every step he took, all I could think was, my God, what a snack. I wanted to treat him like the dog he was, but I couldn't help it. He was just so juicy. I would wake up at night with sweats thinking, please don't eat the dog. Please don't do it, Alex. You're evolved, you're a human, your psychology is beyond this. But no matter how hard I fought, I would still lick my lips. I would still drool a little bit, just thinking about Yes Ken. And I know it's not okay. One day, I lost control. I had been fasting. I told myself, don't do it, but I took a bite out of that booty and I took quite the chunk, Anna.
What?
I am so sorry, Yeast Can, For you are more than just a juicy piece of meat. You are a wholesome internet character. I will never attack you like that again. From now on, moving forward, I will give you the respect you love and deserve. And in fact, if you want to make it even, I will let you take a chunk out of me as well. I'm so sorry, Yusken. It comes from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, Alex, that was beautiful.
Chat is concerned.
I think my chat has
right?
concerns too. New punishment: Yeast can eat Alex.
Yeah, there you go. No, I wasn't alluding to that kind of eating, chat, but I get. He's just so plump. It's really difficult.
Yeast can saying in the chat, chomp, chomp, chomp. I think he's already chewing your finger.
Exactly. Chat, it's fine.
Oh no, my current poll. Do we accept the apology? No, or how dare she? No.
Well, I mean, it was I think decent. It was decent.
You tried your best, Alex. I appreciate the attempt, and you are very honest.
Thank you, Anna. I really appreciate it.
Yeastcan keeps chomping on you, so he's giving it back. Yeastcan MVP chomping on Alex right now in the chat. So yeah. we've got this. Thank you for that, Alex. You tried your best. I accept the attempt.
Thank you, Anna. Besides, I think... Never mind. No, I was just gonna say, Yeastcan probably enjoyed it as much as I did. No? Okay, sorry. You're right. That was wrong. Anna, these sub battles are very fun.
They are. I'm pretty sure that if we win next Sunday, there will be another punishment about Yeastcan after this to apologize for the apology.
Yeah, I feel like I admitted to more crimes than doing a proper apology. Oh,
well, we appreciate it. So next week we can give you another Yeastcan apology punishment, since I'm very confident about our team's success. I hope that your team will be training. They have one more week until next Sunday, the next sub battle. Solve your tactics, play online blitz games, practice as much as you can, and try to represent Team Botez better than today, because I would like to be more proud of you than what you produced today. Even Grandmaster Jon Ludwig Hammer.
What did Grandmaster Jon Ludwig Hammer do?
Well, he didn't win.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
With the rook down though. So 25.
I'm actually really hungry now. I think I'm gonna have to take a snack. Sorry.
Alex.
Yeah. So sorry, Anna. Are you gonna continue
I'm
streaming?
Gonna move the picture away from Yeastcan just in case. Oh no.
But anyway, Anna, thank you so much for coming on today, and I hope I'm gonna see you in person again soon.
I hope so too. I hope so. And if I have a Yeastcan by the time you visit me next time, I will not let you get any close to Yeastcan, but it's alright.
We should do a baking stream where we bake bread shaped like Yeastcan, and then we make toast.
Alex.
That is okay though, because we're eating the bread.
Well, I may just need to make it look like bread shaped bread.
Yeah.
Just bread.
No, this is a great idea. Thanks, Anna.
It's okay. I always come up with very original ideas, like making bread shaped bread. Thank you for being here, Alex, today for the sub battles. I appreciate that you are back with the sub battles, even though you're a very busy lady, and we also always beat your team. So many reasons why not to play sub battles.
No, Anna, my team beats my team. Please get it straight. They beat themselves. Some very suspicious behavior today. And chat, you would be molding if you were in my shoes too.
Congratulations for almost scoring more. I mean, you scored more points, so this is progress. Yeah, I should congratulate your team for scoring some points. Not too
All right,
many.
bye, Anna. See you.
Bye.